welcome to Shooby Dooby Doo-Up, a podcast where we talk about pop music. We'll deep dive a randomly chosen UK top 10 singles chart from the past. Do you remember, baby? Barking at the two men who were gambling in the dark. A million years, it seems, have gone by since we shared our dreams, so I smile and say, if your brother won't rock, then your sister will. I'm James Cook.
I'm Andy Robinson.
Pardon me if I'm sentimental.
Nice work, James Cook. A little literary, lyrical allusions to what's in this week's top 10. Which week's randomly chose top 10 from the past are we looking at?
We are going to the 24th of April 1959.
The 24th of April 1959, I say, only to reiterate. Now, James, neither me or you were alive at this time, so I always like a top 10 when we weren't about. Me personally, I did buy 70% of this week's top 10 on subsequent best-ofs and compilations, so I feel partially, let's call it, involved.
So you knew a lot of these songs already?
Knew them and loved them in my heart.
Okay, bit of a spoiler there for what's coming up.
Yeah.
I reckon I knew 6 of them.
Pretty good then, considering
Probably.
it's so old, this
Yeah,
chart.
probably not as well as you did, though.
Also, in this week's top 30, that is this week, meaning the 24th of April 59, I reiterate again, were other great records, such as Does Your Chewing Gum Lose Its Flavour by Lonnie Donegan, Venus by Frankie Avalon, I Go Ape, Neil Sedaka, It's Late, Ricky Nelson, As I Love You by Shirley Bassey, and Pub With No Beer by Slim Dusty.
In 10 days' time...
Oh yeah, are we putting this date in some sort of historical context?
Yeah, because this chart predates the first ever Grammy Awards by 10 days. They happened in Los Angeles. The big song of the year was Nel Bleu de Pinto de Bleu by Domenico Modugno, which is a song better known as...
I do not know.
Volare.
Nice.
In what year would the second Grammys take place?
1960s.
No, 1959. They had 2 Grammy Awards in the same year.
Blimey.
And in that one, Bobby Darin's Mac the Knife was Record of the Year.
A song about a murder. Spoiler alert, there's one coming up right at the beginning of this week's chart. Also, in the 24th of April 1959, around this time, the ballerina Margot Fontaine had just been released from prison for her involvement with her husband's planned coup against the government.
Which government?
I don't know.
Just any government.
Oh, don't say that. That's made me think I should look up into it. All right, then. The Panama government, I'm going to say, James, with authority, partially because we've just had a little break and you've looked it up on your phone. All right, then. 20,000 demonstrators have just attended a CND rally in Trafalgar Square. In more pop music news, Ronnie Scott's It's on its way to being opened in that there fancy London. And the first episode of Jukebox Jury is about to be on the BBC. Do you know what Jukebox Jury was?
Yeah, it was the show where they rated the new releases.
Yeah.
And they said whether they thought it was going to be a hit or a miss.
Now, we work in a very different realm to Jukebox Jury. We're not predicting any hits, are we? But we're absolutely giving our unasked for opinion about the hits of yesteryear.
Now, we weren't around to influence this chart at all, but someone who would have been, had he had purchasing power at the age of 3 days old, was Robert Smith from The Cure.
Happy birthday, Robert Smith.
But someone who definitely wouldn't have bought any songs because they weren't alive until 3 days after this was Sheena Easton.
Hey, this week I've got this book called Straight from the Fridge, right? And it's all quotes about the jazz talk of the late 50s, like the hep talk, what the Cats are saying.
Yeah.
So I thought, James, I might throw in the odd quote from that book now and again. So you better tune me in and get my signal right.
Is that one of them?
That's one of them,
Okay.
that type of thing.
I see. The number one album in the UK on the 24th of April 1959 was the soundtrack of South Pacific in its 24th of 114 weeks at number 1.
It's a chartbuster.
That's what people were actually listening to in the rock and roll era.
Yeah, some great songs on South Pacific, though, not in this week's top 10, nor in, let's call it, our Patreon content, where we discuss half a dozen records that never, ever made the top 10.
In this week's episode, we've got Frank Sinatra, Little Richard, an early UK Eurovision entry, and songs about planets. You can join our Patreon community for free. The Bonus Tracks podcast costs less than a service station cornetto a month.
A service station cornetto, were they available in 1959?
Well, cornettos came out in 1959, but to be more expensive than our Patreon cost, you'd have to get it from a service station. If you buy them in a multi-pack, we can't compete with that.
Hey, shop responsibly. We're in 1959. I just wish we had some stats about this week's chart.
There are 4 UK number ones in this chart. 3 songs going up, 4 going down, 2 non-movers and a new entry for a total net movement of -5. There are 6 cover versions, 3 British artists, 7 Americans, 7 soloists and 3 groups.
By my reckoning, there are 3 songs about the complexities of love, 3 songs with a name as a title, 2 instrumentals about who knows what they're about, 1 song about a murder, and 1 song that's a clarion call to have a party. There are no examples of self-reference, and there's only 1 key change, which was surprised in the late 50s. You would think there'd be more key changes. It's a good one, though.
You can listen out for that key change on our playlists of the top 10, which you can find in the description. There's one to Spotify, and if you're not on Spotify, we've got one for YouTube as well.
Always like to recommend you listening to this top 10. It won't take long this week because the songs are very short, aren't they? But we always like to give you a little nudge towards these playlists in our attachments, because not only does it make what me and James are banging on about more relevant, it's also some great music this week, which I'm going to say, if it's anything like this week, James, put a right spring in my step.
This is a little indication of how short this top 10 is to listen to. I often listen to the songs when I'm going for a run. I'm an incredibly slow runner. This top 10 had run out way before I had finished the run. I mean, we could get deeper into the politics of 1959 at the time, but who cares? Come on, everybody.
Number 10.
Down 3 to number 10. It's Stagger Lee by Lloyd Price.
The record I was on earlier in our intro, James, is all about a brutal murder. That's unusual in the top 10, isn't it? First example of gangster rap.
Yeah, it probably is, actually.
Maybe.
I think you've hit on something there. I was thinking about, there are quite a few songs that are about murders, essentially. You know, things like Delilah.
Yeah.
But in terms of true crime songs that have been chart hits, I could only really think of I Don't Like Mondays.
Yeah.
By the Boomtown Rats. And apparently Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson is inspired by the case of Richard Ramirez.
Okay.
You know, true crime podcasts are all the rage.
Yeah, let's lean into it then.
Yeah. Let's talk about our favourite murderers.
And what kind of dinner they like to have, judging by the other podcasts that are way more popular than this one. No offence, we like it.
But there's not that many pop songs about true crimes that have been hits. And this is based on a real murder.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. My belief about this song, and I know this as a fact anyway, Stagger Lee, an archetypal character, isn't he, in the old pop music? I mean, Nick Cave did a song fairly recently. Bob Dylan did a version called Stagger Lee quite recent. So this is an old tale and, as I say, very much the folk song tradition.
It is.
You know how I know it's the folk song? It's got no chorus in, really. Apart from when they go, oh, Stagger Lee, oh, Stagger Lee. What a great overture to this week's top 10. Lloyd Price, setting the scene immediately for what is to follow. The night was clear and the moon was mellow, copyright, yeah? And the leaves came tumbling down. I was standing, and it goes on that, when I heard my bulldog bark, lovely. And that's pretty much in the dark all the way through. It was Stagger Lee, etc., etc. A simple structure again, due to the folk nature of this song.
Should we go through the lyrics and I'll tell you which bits are true?
Okay,
all right.
Unusual.
It's based on a real life murder that happened in 1895. He's standing with his bulldog. Well, let's face it, Lloyd Price wasn't there. He wasn't born yet, bulldog or not.
He's playing a character. Very much reportage, this song, isn't it?
Yeah,
we should point that out. Lloyd Price, or whoever he may be playing, is watching the scene unfold, so go on.
He was barking at 2 men who were gambling in the dark. Now, the 2 men involved in the murder, the murderee and the murderer, neither of them was gambling, and I don't think they were in the dark. They were in a saloon.
Okay.
I imagine there were lights on.
All right.
In the saloon.
I'm liking the way you started so pettily this week.
Yep.
Go on.
It was Stagger Lee and Billy. Well, yes, Billy Lyons was the guy who gets shot, and Stagger Lee is the guy who does the shooting. Who is Stagger Lee? Well, Stagger Lee was a pimp called Lee Shelton, who was kind of given the name Stagger Lee, named after a Mississippi riverboat called the Stackley, which in turn was named after a riverboat captain. And the Stackley boat had a very sort of liberal attitude towards prostitution and gambling aboard So people liked it, and because he was a pimp, he got associated with that, and his name was Lee. So people used to call him Stack Lee or Stagger Lee. It was Stagger Lee and Billy, two men who gambled late. They weren't gambling at this time. Stagger
Who says they weren't gambling? Where's these facts from?
My sources.
Right.
Never mind. All this didn't come out until like the 1990s, when someone traced it back. Stagger Lee threw 7, Billy swore he threw 8. That didn't happen. That's got nothing to do with it.
Did Billy tell Stagger Lee that he'd won all his money in his brand new Stetson hat? I imagine in your world this is hard to verify.
Well, the hat is actually the thing that's true.
What?
The story is that Billy Lyon worked for the Republican Party and Stagger Lee was a Democrat. And even though they were friendly, they'd had some drinks and they started arguing. And during the arguing, they started flicking each other in the hat. And then they started nicking each other's hat.
Right.
And then a hat got damaged. And there was, you need to pay for my new hat. I'm not paying for your new hat. And it just escalated and escalated until Billy Lyons pulled a knife and Stagger Lee pulled a gun and shot him.
Which is in Lloyd Price's summation of this event.
He does say that the bullet goes straight through him and smashes a glass on the bar.
Oh, yeah.
That probably didn't happen.
Yes, let's call it poetic license.
Yeah.
Hey, I was drunk the other day, so I'm having my poetic license taken away from me.
You're going to have to go on a safe poetry course. So that thing happens in 1895, and then not long afterwards, it starts being played in pubs and clubs by members of the African American community as different songs sort of retelling the story, and also songs that adapt other existing folk songs at that time to include the story of this. And then it just, like the whispers of time, it changes and it becomes a thing.
The true folk tradition.
Yeah, indeed. Because as well, at that time, none of it's recorded, really. None of it gets recorded until like the 20s. Ma Rainey records a version of it. Lots of different recordings under various names. Skeegalee Blues, Staggo-Lee Blues, Stacko-Lee. Some of them have different words. Some of them have different tunes. Some have both different tunes and different words. I would argue that's a different song then, isn't it? But there have been over 170 recordings of the song, including by James Brown, Fats Domino, Wilson Pickett, Ike and Tina Turner, Dr. John, Bob Dylan you mentioned, the Isley Brothers, who sang it on Ready, Steady, Go, during which Ronald Isley pulled out a gun live on TV.
Yeah.
Also doing recordings of it, our old friend Pat Bowen.
Pat Bowen is Pat Boone, for let's call it new listeners. Yeah. You're welcome. We, for some reason, a long time ago, we decided to call him Pat Bowen.
Huey Lewis and the News have done a version of it.
All right.
And if you think, that's probably the whitest version, wait until you hear the one by Mike Love of the Beach Boys. It is not good.
The song, like I say, it's a tale as old as time. It's about a murder. You could relate it to Frankie and Johnny, that old folk song that Elvis did later in some poor film. Like Rocky Raccoon by the Beatles, I imagine, is a sort of rewriting of this, call it a folk ballad about a brutal murder. So, it's all part of the tradition.
Mac the Knife, which we mentioned in the intro and is going to be a number 1 later in the year.
I read on YouTube it was the first censored record to be number 1. I don't know if you know anything about that.
Yeah, 2 different versions were recorded because radio listeners complained about the violent content. In the censored version, Stagger and Billy are arguing over a woman who goes back to Stagger Lee at the end. So Stagger Lee, as you say, becomes this folk hero that people sing about and a sort of a representative of a character who doesn't care for authority and has swagger, in much the way that a lot of oppressed sections of society venerate folk heroes.
Yeah.
In much the same way that in Britain we have Robin Hood, who was probably based on a real guy, but we don't know what he did and whether he actually did take money from the rich and give it to the poor or whether he was just a criminal.
I went to the Sherwood Forest tour walk that you do once upon a time.
Yeah.
I was gigging in Nottingham and had nothing to do. And the fella there showed us a tree. And then he said, if Robin Hood did exist, which we don't know if he did or not, he might have gone up a tree like this. And I thought, I've wasted some money here.
Exactly. Have you seen the movie American Fiction?
I have, yes. The character I learned on YouTube. Go on, James. Go on.
Yes. So
I can see where you're going. I like it.
It's based on the book Erasure by Percival Everett, which has nothing to do with the 80s synth pop band. But it is a satire about an African-American intellectual who can't get anyone to read his books until he writes one where he pretends he grew up in great poverty and was a criminal and a pimp and a drug addict.
And the pseudonym he uses in that film for this book is Stag R. Lee, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, great.
This song, this folk song, has a huge sort of cultural shadow.
Yeah.
One of the heads of the Black Panthers gave his son the middle name Stagger Lee. It became such an archetype, and it is based on just a guy who shot another guy over an argument over a hat. If you go back far enough, but these things escalate, don't they, through the folk tradition and print the legend.
Yeah, I mean, when this record comes on, I'm just delighted with it. Like I say, that intro, the relentless stomp of it all. On YouTube, MZ Lee Brathing said, "That was my father on drums. I remember meeting Mr. Price, such a lovely man," and then loads of other family members. KO Huso 11 says, "My father is credited on this track as a sax soloist, Alan Red Wallace, with the Don Costa Orchestra." It's a brilliant saxophone solo, so thank you, Mr. Alan Red Wallace. Loads of people were saying things on YouTube like, "I used to bowl with Lloyd in Norwalk, humble and a gentleman."
Well, he had a couple more hits. He'd written Lordy Miss Claudie.
Yes. Elvis did that.
Yeah, and it was Elvis and also Little Richard's version of that sort of put him back in the spotlight, which enabled him to release this record and have... It was an American #1, this song. He'd go on to have a few more hits, and then he would work with Don King on promoting The Rumble in the Jungle.
Nice. Great research.
He carried on performing way up until his 80s, and he passed away in 2021.
Rest in peace, Lloyd. Thank you for your contribution to the panoply of pop. I got that little saying in early, didn't I, this week? T. Capone on YouTube says, "Music died in 1986. As far as I'm concerned, I blame MTV, rap, heavy metal, and Satan."
That's pesky Satan.
Halashin 710 says,
It's such a weird year to pick that, isn't it? 1986.
Isn't it?
In a song that came out in 1959 about something that happened in 1895 to go, do you know when music ended? And you think he's going to go, well, it's 1959. A lot of people think music died in 1959, as we will get onto. But no, 1986, just another random year that I've decided.
I look at YouTube comments, don't I, down for a little bit of content, and it's just not me and you giving out unasked for opinion. It sends me mad. Listen to this one. Halashin 710 says, "If aliens come to Earth,
what a way to start.
The only way we'll ever get along is if we give them this song and have a party."
Yeah, good. Such is the power of the Stagger Lee song and myth and general folklore that is the only thing that can bring two different beings from different planets together.
Get away, Satan, and welcome aliens. Let's put Lloyd Price on. Hey, this makes me hold on to my chair and not step on no snakes.
Is that some of that 50 slang? Okay.
Number 9.
Up one place to number 9 is Connie Francis with My Happiness. A song of heartbreak with a little bit of hope in there, I'm going to say.
It's weird that it's a song called My Happiness and it doesn't really sound that happy.
She's got the blues. Gets me all steamed up like a pants presser, this record. That's not one from the book, that's just how I talk now.
It's too plausible that is how you would talk anyway.
Let's try and describe this record, James. It's a simple, I'm going to call it a country song, isn't it? Where the skies are grey or blue, any place on earth will do, just as long as I sniff glue. My happiness.
Those aren't the exact lyrics, are they?
Not quite. We have to change it. Let's call it because of the bots. Did you like this song?
I thought it was fine.
Just fine?
Oh no, you're going to get angry with me for not being
how dare you?
Too effusive about it.
No, it's a simple song, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think Connie Francis, real name Conchetta Francanero. I learned that on YouTube, James, yeah?
Conchetta Rosa Maria Francanero.
My apologies, I missed out the middle name. She sings it beautifully. It's also beautiful string arrangement. Sounds woozy, sounds weird. I'm going to say it's maybe Connie Francis. I'm pretty sure it's her double tracked and harmonising with herself. So that's unusual in 1959, isn't it, that they use that technology?
Well, I wouldn't know, wasn't there?
Yeah. In many ways, it sounds a little bit like an Everly Brothers song or something. The intimate harmony with Connie singing along with herself, a beautiful blend of both registers.
You mentioned the strings. This version was orchestrated by David Rose Do you know of David Rose?
No.
And some bits of music that you will have definitely heard of?
The theme from The Stripper.
Yep, straight away. Well done. Yep, that guy. Also, so the guy who does The Stripper and the strings on this also did the theme tune to Little House on the Prairie and Bonanza.
Blimey.
So this song is another cover.
Yes.
Music by Borny Bergantine, wrote it in 1933.
Yeah.
They'd already died by the time this song comes out. And lyrics by Betty Peterson Blasco, who wrote the lyrics 15 years later.
Okay.
Yes, the first recording was by John and Sondra Steele, although there were also versions by the Pied Pipers, Ella Fitzgerald, John Lawrence and the Martin Sisters in the same year.
Yeah, everyone doing these songs, hoping to have a hit.
And who in 1953 recorded it?
I am delighted you mentioned this, of course. I was going to ask you about it. This is a song that Elvis Presley went into Sun Studios with to record a demo, ostensibly as a gift for his mother's birthday, although there is some academic thought that he might have just been trying to show off in front of Sun Records. So I knew this song and the importance of it in my life, let's say, because it's what got Elvis's job of being Elvis.
Wanted, Elvis. Qualifications needed, must be Elvis. Do you know where that recording is now?
Is it Jack White bought it?
That's correct.
Yeah, Jack White. He'll
bought
buy
it.
any old bit of vinyl, Jack White. I'm sure I saw him around the car boot sale the other day buying Burt Camford's Swinging Safari.
He bought it at auction in 2015 for $300,000.
Yeah.
I mean, Connie Francis's backstory is quite dark.
She only died recently, I learned on YouTube. Is that right? So that surprised me a little bit that Connie Francis has only recently departed this bitter earth.
Yeah, she was an incredible singer. She was multilingual. She recorded songs in English, Italian, French, German, Yiddish, and Japanese. Do you know which famous pop star she kind of had a thing with at around this time? We've mentioned him a couple of times already.
Who?
Bobby Darin.
Did she?
But her father forbade it
Okay.
because of Darin's mob connections.
Right.
And she said she always regretted not marrying him. Do we want to get into the tragedy of Connie Francis in the 70s, or do you want to keep it light?
Roger Turner on YouTube says, I'm in tears, what a voice, but music industry, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Anything to do with that from Roger Turner?
I mean, I'm sure she was messing around by the
Yeah,
music
go on,
industry, as pretty much everyone was,
Yeah, let's
as
do
we'll
it.
get into.
Go on, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't you want to do it?
It's quite.
I feel like
it's
you
quite
don't.
dark.
I feel like you don't want to do it, James. Just give us some headlines then, and I'll make something up spuriously.
Yeah, don't. In 1974, Connie Francis was abducted and raped, and then suffered.
All right, mate, keep it light. What are you doing?
What?
Yeah, go on. Sorry, I'm being silly.
And suffered PTSD as a result. After that, the rapist was never caught. In 1978, she lost her voice for 3 years after nasal surgery, and in 1981, her father was shot to death by mafia hitmen because he was an attorney who testified against the mob and turned down witness protection. In 1984, she would put herself in a coma after attempting suicide, but by the late 80s, she was back performing.
Why are you spoiling Connie Francis for me?
I probably will cut away.
Zyglo9826 says, R.I.P. Connie. I had a frantic crush on her as a teenager in the 60s. Unfortunately, my bubble burst when she was arrested for refusing to put out a cigarette aboard an airliner in Atlanta and then kicked a cop as she was being escorted off the aircraft. Made me think like Connie Francis is a little bit like that bloke out of R.E.M. throwing the yoghurt around an aircraft, or Ian Brown threatening to chop off an air stewardess's hands.
Or a bit like Stagger Lee.
Yeah. Did you watch the video?
No.
There's some videos this week,
Okay,
James.
were there?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I didn't watch them.
She's singing it on the American Bandstand, a show fronted by Dick Clark. I thought this was pretty interesting because when I was watching the Stagger Lee song, Nick Cave, right, I watched a version of him at Glastonbury. He's out on the barrier and he connects deeply by singing this song of murder to a young girl. The young girl is looking, let's say, lovelorn or, absolutely impressed that Nick Cave is singing to her face to face. I thought, that's good. You don't see that in the old days. And yet, on this version of American Bandstand, Connie Francis goes for a walkabout while she's singing a song and then starts serenading a 10-year-old boy. So it made me think of the heritage of pop stars singing to kids with inappropriate songs.
Yeah,
Peg
Elvis used to do it in his movies, didn't he? He
Yeah.
would sing a song to a young girl.
Yeah. Peg Wilkins 7922 has watched this performance and she says, that little boy, so charming and innocent, I hope he managed to dodge Vietnam.
God, Wow.
We're going dark for Connie Francis for some reason. We're talking about like, murder and death. Maybe Lloyd Price has affected us. We could try, since Connie Francis is talking about happiness, we could see what other pop stars say about happiness, James.
Okay.
Yeah? We're going to get some quotes from brainyquote.com.
Right.
We're going to have a think about the quotes, and then you are going to make impossible guesses about which pop star said it. Which pop star said money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you a yacht big enough to pull up right alongside it?
Okay, so there's got to be a pop star who's got a yacht. Who's got a yacht? Duran Duran. Is it Simon Le Bon?
It's a good guess, but it's Dave Lee Roth.
I got the Lee bit right.
Yeah, all right.
It's just Simon Lee Bon.
I'm going to do what parents do now, and even though you're wrong, just encourage you so you keep playing. Which pop star said desire is individual, happiness is common? First of all, what's he going on about?
Oh, so it's a he?
Yeah.
Bono.
No.
Oh.
Oh, I've just had a little stroke.
What's his name? Julian Casablancas.
Woo-hoo-hoo, 1,000,000 pop points to you, James Cook. Maybe you can get this from this pop star, her work ethic. Power means happiness. Power means hard work and sacrifice.
Madonna.
No, closer. It is only...
Lady Gaga.
No, go on. Another one of that ilk.
Tina Turner.
She was influenced by Tina Turner,
Whitney Houston.
especially when she did Crazy in Love.
Beyonce Knowles.
Woo-hoo-hoo. And the final one, James, whilst we're talking about pop stars' own interpretation of happiness, being body positive is really important to your overall happiness. It's hard to see someone with a perfect body and be like, why can't I be like her? But that person was born to be who she is, and you're born to be who you are.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Amazing. James Cook very much in the Sabrina Carpenter fan club. Absolutely.
Yay.
Most importantly, James, it is the one song in this week's top 10 with a key change. It's this one. This is the blighter.
Number 8.
Down 2 places to number 8. It's Come On Everybody by Eddie Cochran. Now, I first heard this song when I was about 10 or 11 because it was re-released after a Levi's advert.
Was
featured
it?
the song.
Was it?
Yes. And as a result, it was on a Now album. I want to say Now 12?
Okay.
Something like that. It was definitely on a Now album that I had. So I listened to it loads. Also, it's really short, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, all the songs in this chart are short, but this is probably the shortest. It's less than 2 minutes long.
Did you like it when it was on? I mean, that must have been
Yes.
unusual, it being on a Now album.
Yeah. I really liked it.
That's it. That's the riff, which I've just ruined.
And also a much bigger hit in the UK than it was in America.
Really?
Yep, gets to number 6 here in 1959 and number 14, 1988. Only gets to number 35 in America.
Stupid Americans. Hey, I feel a little bit like I've lapsed back into what I did last week
Yeah.
when we did the American top 10.
I think what's notable about this is that it's produced by Eddie Cochran, co-written by Eddie Cochran, and he was 19.
Loads of YouTube comments saying what would have happened if he lived on, how would he have contributed to music, of course, always a good question, isn't it?
And it's a question that's going to come up quite a lot on this week's show, talking about that, because there are instances of pop stars who just died too young in accidents that were completely avoidable.
By trying to go to gigs.
Yeah.
Essentially. I say that sometimes when I'm hey James, me and you are stand-up comedians, aren't we?
Yeah.
I feel I have to point that out sometimes because people don't know from listening to this. However, sometimes when I'm standing on the stage with a microphone in my hand and the light on me, people still don't know I'm a stand-up comedian, so there we are. Yet, sometimes when people book me in the winter especially, do you want to go up here, do a gig, you've been booked to do it, and it's terrible weather, I always sing Glenn Miller as I'm driving up there just to remind me to do your best. A perilous job.
Eddie Cochran died a year after this chart, in April 1960, in a car accident in Chippenham. In the car were Gene Vincent and also Eddie Cochran's girlfriend Sharon Seeley. Eddie was kind of thrown from the car when it hit a tree because he had dived in front of Seeley to try and save her, they think.
Sheely. Sharon Sheely.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Apologise. The driver, who was kind of at fault, he lost control of the car on a completely dry road with good visibility, was fined 50 quid and banned from driving for 15 years. And Eddie Cochran, who already by the age of 19 was producing rock and roll classics like this, was gone. And we don't know what would have happened. He could have been one of those guys who had some hits, but then, you know, when the 60s come along, kind of fall out of favour. Or he could have been someone who pushed on.
He was a writer, wasn't he? So
Yeah.
I believe, a bit like Buddy Holly, no spoilers, that accusation is not as easy to throw at these pop stars because they're artists as well, aren't they? You know, Eddie Cochran, Buddy Holly, writing their own songs, coming up with stuff. So maybe, who knows? Bailey 57 on YouTube was bragging about how he'd been to the site of the car crash in Chippenham, which I found a bit weird. But Elise Baker Davis says, when I hear or think about the end of the world, it's incomprehensible that these songs and videos could be lost for eternity, which I thought was a good thought.
Yeah, keep it like that.
Did you watch the video?
No.
Great performance again, you know, of him just doing the song, essentially. It's also made me think Brian Setzer of the Stray Cats loved him, didn't he? Absolutely influenced by him, I'm going to say. I love Eddie Cochran. I mean, you know, listen to the best of Eddie Cochran if you want to have a great time.
We have spoken about him in the bonus tracks previously, and much like the song we covered there, this has got sort of archetypal American high school experience all through it, hasn't
Let's
it?
do it, absolutely. As I mentioned in the intro, this was on the clarion call to have a party. What would you say Eddie's preoccupations are?
What do you mean his preoccupations? He's got some money in his jeans.
He's got some money in his jeans, he's going to spend it right.
Yeah. I love that he thinks he's going to spend it right. You're going to invest it, are you?
And if you're not going to dance with him, your sisters will. Also, he's got so much money, he's able to employ a guard to stand outside this house party.
Yeah, I've been doing my homework all the week long, and now the house is empty and my folks are gone. I really like that he has done his homework before he has the party.
Absolutely.
He's responsible in that element of it. He's going to have a big house party. There'll be bare feet slapping the floor.
Yeah, great.
There's the whole thing about if the folks come home, they're going to have my hide. There'll be no more movies for a week or two. No more running around with the usual crew. He's like, I'm going to be punished. But then it's like, who cares? It'll be worth it for this night.
Absolutely.
And as someone with a teenage daughter who is lobbying hard to have a party at my house, can I just say that there'll be none of that behaviour going on. There'll be no bare feet slapping on my floor.
When you say, come on, everybody, you sound a little bit, I'm going to say Jive Bunny does when this is a different, come on, everybody.
Come on, everybody. I sound like a bit like a supply teacher.
I learned on YouTube that the great drummer Earl Palmer is playing on this record. Also, someone mentioned that Jimmy Stivers is on piano. I don't know. I'm just going for these names. I was very much blindsided by Eddie Cochran's charisma.
Earl Palmer, I've got some songs here that he played on.
He played on fuckloads.
Yes.
Yeah, go on, do it.
I believe that's the correct term.
Do it.
Tutti Frutti.
Little Richard.
I'm Walking.
Fats Domino.
You Send Me.
Sam Cooke, did he play on that?
Yeah. Boney Maroney.
Larry Williams.
La Bamba.
Richie Valens.
Rubberball.
Bobby V.
Nut Rocker.
B Bumble and the Stingers.
I Can't Stop Loving You.
Well, loads of people have done that. Don Gibson.
The one we covered.
Ray Charles.
Yep.
With the choir that you didn't like.
It's not that I didn't like them, I just thought they were ridiculous. The Flintstones.
By Fred and Wilma.
Suicide is Painless.
The MASH theme.
Yeah. And Dink, 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 Dink.
Mission
dink,
Impossible.
dink,
Well
dink.
done, El Palmer. Yeah, loads of records.
Oh, I mentioned this song was co-written by Eddie Cochran. We should give a shout out to
Jerry Capehart.
Yes, Jerry Capehart.
Go on, tell us about him.
Well, what I know is what he contributes to the song other than co-writing it.
Go on.
He plays the tambourine.
That's it. Well done.
Well done. Well done, Jerry.
Now, in the video I was mentioning, James, one scene never forgotten. Somebody in YouTube said, why are all the kids in the audience chewing gum?
Are they?
I thought, what are you on about?
Such an American thing to do, isn't it?
I thought, what are you going on about? Watched it again. It's blatant. All the kids masticating like nanas. This song was also, I heard, featured in a Hershey's advert. It's in the Mafia 2 video game, so it lives on.
It is absolutely an archetypal rock and roll song.
As Hulk 2K6 says, this was likely your nan's party rock anthem. I believe it ain't no sin to take off your skin and dance around in your bones. But that's just me. I've been reading that bleeding book, haven't I? I mentioned Brian Setzer, didn't I?
Yeah.
Also, when I was flicking about on YouTube, getting my kicks listening to this song, saw Brian Setzer talking about him, and he had got a guitar pick that was given to him by Sharon Shealy. Now, as you can imagine, Brian Setzer, as I mentioned, loves Eddie Cochran. So this was one of his most prized possessions. Have you got any prized possessions, James, ever given to you by, let's call it, a celebrity?
On the very few occasions I've met celebrities, they have never given me... Actually, that's not true. I have got something, but it wasn't given to me.
Go on. Did you steal something?
Nope.
Go on.
I bought it at an auction. It is a Velcro suit that Carol Vorderman wore on Celebrity Apprentice. It's in my loft.
A fitting tribute to Eddie Cochran.
It doesn't fit, I'll tell you that much. What have you got?
Again, I wasn't given this per se, but when I used to work at the BBC, I've got the dressing room sign for Paul McCartney.
You got that, have you?
I nicked it, didn't I? When I was thinking, for some reason, I was high and excited. I thought, it made me think this. I bet Paul McCartney, for many years, can't find his dressing room because there's no business to steal the sign. Yeah.
Anytime he goes to the BBC, he's got nowhere to get changed because of you.
Number 7.
Down 3 to number 7. It is the Platters with Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. A beautiful, beautiful song. Another one of heartbreak, I'm going to say.
The greatest lyric of all time.
Your words?
Not my words. The words of Sir Tim Rice.
Okay.
Yep.
He writes loads of lyrics, so he knows a thing or two about a thing or two, doesn't he?
This song gets me right in the feels.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Did you know it before?
Yep.
Of course.
I love this song. Turns out my wife, she doesn't like it so much.
Does she not?
No.
Okay.
So that was a frosty evening when I found that out.
Let's name the Platters. Had loads of people going on about Tony Williams, the lead singer. Also, a couple of people gave him the nickname Golden Throat, which I've never heard.
Sounds like an awful Bond villain.
Also, Herb Reed, David Lynch, Paul Roby, Zola Taylor, of course, the woman in the Platters, which I always like to see a bit of feminine presence in the Platters.
How many of them were in the original Platters lineup?
The original? Is this not the original lineup?
How many of the original Platters lineup are on this record?
I don't know.
0.
What?
They completely retooled the Platters. And I was looking at it going, is this going to be a drifter situation where there have been like 50 members of the Platters? And there's only been 12. They still tour to this day, although Herb Reed was the last surviving member from this record, and he died in 2012.
R.I.P. Herb Reed, thank you for everything you've done. Frankie Hunter on YouTube says the Platters were the most popular group in former Yugoslavia, more popular than the Beatles. I don't know anything about Yugoslavia, but I appreciate Frankie Hunter's input.
I mean, who's going to check? Just make it up. This was a UK and US number 1, their 5th and final UK top 10 hit, written in 1933 for the musical Roberta, with lyrics by Otto Harbach and music by Jerome Kern.
Jerome Kern wrote the melody for this at least.
Old Man River as well, A Fine Romance, The Way You Look Tonight. First recorded by Paul Whiteman in 1934, then among others, Irene Dunn, the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra, Peggy Lee, Glenn Miller, Nat King Cole, Harry Belafonte, Charlie Parker, Joe Stafford, Dinah Washington, Eartha Kitt, and loads more.
And Brian Ferry.
Yes, Brian Ferry is one of 3 other people to have a charting version of this in the UK. Can you name either of the other 2? I'd be very surprised.
Who had a hit with Smoke Gets in Your Eyes?
Yeah, who charted in the UK.
You know what I'm going to say? Give me some clues, give me some clues.
The first one was in 1972. Then you got to number 32. Their name is a colour and a sort of mist. I'd never heard of them.
Grey Fog.
Blue Haze.
Okay.
And 1996 got to number 13. A cast member from the TV series London's Burning, obviously, because smoke gets in your eyes. John Alford.
Well done, John Alford, for that opportunism.
This version gets a mixed response from the originators of the song. Otto Harbach said, "Oh, thanks for reviving the song. You know, you've done it well." But the Jerome Kern had died in 1945. His widow began legal action to prevent the song being distributed, but she dropped the lawsuit, crucially, when someone explained to her how royalties work.
I read this on YouTube that Jerome Kern's estate didn't want a rock and roll group or an R&B group, whatever, to sing it, but changed their mind when they heard it. But you're disputing that
we don't
filthy
know.
lucre of it all.
We don't know. They didn't want it, and then all of a sudden they did when it was a massive hit in America and in the UK.
Did you watch the video?
Just take it as read that it's a no.
I like asking that question in that silly voice, so I won't take it as read. I'm going to ask it every time. It's a performance from Ed Sullivan. Sounds like what they call a television car crash in some ways. Apparently, the Platters had run out of time on this live broadcast. He had already sung one. Ed Sullivan said you can't sing it. Then someone got ill or dropped out, or they found a little bit of time. The Platters rushed back on and did a beautiful version of the song. Well worth checking out.
And do you know what else I love about this song?
Go on.
It's got a proper ending.
I'm going to do it, James. It's in the key of E flat, yeah, as you're mentioning, and the ending, as you're going on about, James. Smoke gets in your We can't sing it.
No, we're not Tony Williams. We're not Golden Throat.
We're not Golden Throat, are we? But what I love about it, James, the structure of it, yeah? So it's down there for ask me how I knew my true love was blue. Do you remember when we talked about Over the Rainbow in one of our bonus tracks, the octave leap?
Yeah.
So he's doing it here over these beautiful chords. Oh, 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 oh. Then the lovely yeah, cannot be denied. And then the bridge. Lovely. It's gone weird, hasn't it? Out of key. We're living by your love. So pretty. So I have just been strumming those chords all week. I mean, I just like all the augmentations and the diminished stuff of it. That kind of thing. Beautiful.
And the lyrics are clever as well.
Yeah, let's talk about the lyrics. What do you think it is saying?
They say love is blind. I think that's the line that gives it away, isn't it? Yeah. It's saying, when your heart's on fire, the smoke gets in your eyes. When you're in love, you can't see properly.
But it also says at the end, when the laughing friends are deriding the tears, when a lovely flame dies,
yes,
smoke gets in your eyes.
Also, when a love affair has ended, you can't see straight either.
I mean, if it don't turn you on, brother, you ain't got no switches. But also, I learned that it was in a 70s ad for Home Pride flour.
Was it?
Yeah, apparently. It's in
that's not smoke getting in your eyes, that's flour getting in your eyes.
I think it's in the film American Graffiti. Loads of people mentioned it in Always, which is a Richard Dreyfuss.
The song is, I don't think it's this version.
Okay.
I'm not
the
sure.
beautiful song is, it doesn't matter. I was reminded of this by several YouTube comments. It also features heavily at the climax of the book Catcher in the Rye. Do you remember? Have you read that book?
I have, but not for 30 years.
So when he's having his breakdown, Holden Caulfield a little bit, watching his sister go around on a carousel in the novel.
Yeah.
That's the song that's playing that brings him so much emotions, and before he gets checked into the mental hospital. Powerful song, yeah.
Does that mean it's going to happen to me?
Possibly. You should stand by while I pad your skull. I'm going to recommend this to any songwriters. I was just playing the chords because I thought they were so beautiful. Just having a little strum and, trying to work out. And then I thought, I'm nicking that. So I wrote a song with those chords on it. With a different melody, different top line.
Is it called Smoke Gets Up Your Nose? You Get On My Tits. That would be quite a good version of it.
But what I'm saying is, it's a lovely thing to do if you're artistically bereft. Nick a chord sequence, just put a new melody over it.
Number 6.
Up 2 places to number 6. It's Charlie Brown by the Coasters. So we've had the Platters, now we've got the Coasters. What's next? The table placemats.
Very good.
The Salt and Pepper Shakers. Oh, Salt and Pepper are a group.
Hey, if it don't turn you on, brother, you ain't got no switches. It's a great record, isn't it? Again, written by Lieber and Stoller. Let's say they wrote loads of Elvis songs, loads of rock and roll songs, loads for the Coasters. So that's going on. It is a tale, not about Charlie Brown, the cartoon character.
No, they always said it's not about him, despite Peanuts having begun 9 years previously and the first animated series already being on TV. They said that was just a coincidence.
Yeah. Sneaky.
And the characters are very different as well. Charlie Brown in the cartoon is very sort of downtrodden and nerdy.
Yeah.
Whereas the Charlie Brown in this song is one cool motherfucker.
Let's do it. Let's go through some of the things Charlie Brown does in the classroom that winds up the Coasters so much.
Well, one of the things he does got this record banned by the BBC.
Go on.
Well, let's go through the list and
All
see
right.
if you can work out which one led to the BBC ban.
I won't demonstrate it on guitar, but let's say this is a raucous, rambunctious R&B record, so nip over to Spotify or watch the video. Watch the video, I know you didn't. There's a great performance of this, which I might get into later. Anyway, first of all, the same fee, fi, fo, fum, they smell smoke in the auditorium.
So he's smoking or he set fire to something.
Smoke is getting in his eyes, let's say. So these are the questions that Coasters ask. Let's call them rhetorical device.
Yeah. Well, they also answer it, don't they?
Yeah.
So,
who's always writing on the wall? Who's always goofing in the hall? Who's always throwing spitballs? They're also asking, who walks in the classroom cool and slow? Who calls the English teacher daddy-o?
can you imagine the shocks that would have sent round the school? Have you seen someone called the English teacher daddy-o?
There was a kid at our
It's a
school
very
once.
different time.
There was a kid at our school once who called the metalwork teacher a fat
Called the metal teacher a fat. Was his name Charlie Hunt? That would have made it work.
Made me remember that kid fondly, I have to say, this record. Thanks, Coasters.
They sing Charlie Brown, he's a clown. What if it was Charlie Hunt? It's a very different song.
He's going to get caught, Jesse, wait and see, with a little trick Eddie Cochran used of a deep voice. Why is everybody always picking on me? He did that a couple of times, didn't he?
Which of those activities...
Summertime Blues was one of them. He mentioned that deep voice. God, my apologies. What?
Which of those activities led to this song being banned by the BBC briefly?
Calling teacher a fat.
No, that's not in the song. That was in your life.
Sorry. Go on, which one was it?
Spitballs.
Okay, what are spitballs?
It's where you use spit and a bit of paper to make a little ball, and then you can like blow it through a straw at someone.
Dirty Coasters. I mean, it's a great record. Did you enjoy it? Of course.
Yes, it's loads of fun.
Loads of fun. How could you not? Nip over again to Spotify. Watch the video on the YouTube. The YouTube video is very interesting. They do a little performance of Coasters. They're stuck in a classroom singing it. And then in the middle, one of the Coasters, which one was it? I believe it was Cornell Gunter, who was later shot in his car for doing bad Connie Francis type news. He does a little 30s Charleston dance in the middle of it, picks up this big fella, all of a sudden very light on his feet, doing a beautiful dance. Well worth checking out. It's a joy. Also, in the classroom, I quite liked it on the blackboard of this video. Written in legend on the blackboard is cat plus dog equals question mark. That's a good lesson to learn, isn't it? The Coasters are trying to put you. What do you reckon? A cat and dog equal?
A cat and dog equal? I don't know, some kind of cute YouTube video usually.
Yeah.
There have been 23 Coasters. You mentioned Cornelius Gunter, who was murdered, as was King Curtis. 2 of them have been murdered. That's quite a high
I don't think King
murder
Curtis
rate.
was a coaster. I think he just plays the saxophone on this record. I don't believe him to be an actual coaster.
So that's not, he doesn't count as one of the Coasters?
He's one of the band, isn't it? The Coasters are the vocal harmony group, aren't they?
Oh.
Not every musician who's walking past, I'm going to say.
So he's not a coaster?
I believe not. However, King Curtis, great saxophone solo. He did Memphis Soul Stew and all these great records, didn't he? Sorry to piss on your bonfire, James.
That's all right. The last surviving original coaster, Leon Hughes, died in March 2023, but the Coasters are still touring in one form or another.
Are they?
Yeah.
They've got some great songs of Coasters. Again, like Eddie Cochran, listen to the best of the Coasters and you're like, hey, it's a triple scream and one big yell.
Are the Everly Brothers a group or a duo?
I would say duo.
Okay, in which case, the Coasters were the first group inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well done, Coasters. That's me applauding them. VGHCX on YouTube says, after my 3rd gin and tonic, I sang this song at our 60th class reunion. Now, this is sobering, James. 60th class reunion.
So they'll all be in their mid-70s.
My fellow classmates were swinging their canes in the air and spinning around in their wheelchairs like they were 18 again.
Oh, good for them. What was the worst thing you ever did at school?
Well, if I was doing Charlie Brown...
Yeah. What did you do?
I'm trying to think of something that... The thing that's popped in my head is thing that I don't want to say, so I'm going to come up with something spurious.
I was quite a nerdy, shy kid, so I didn't really get into that much. I got into a bit of trouble. The last day of the 4th year, so what would now be year 10, me and 3 others wagged off school to go and watch The Exorcist on video in Alex Gibson's house.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and then one of our mates dobbed us in, and we all got in trouble for that. I was going to be a prefect in my final year, and I had that taken off me, which meant I didn't have to spend one playtime a week standing inside the school telling people they couldn't come inside the school, and it has no effect on the rest of my life. My mate John, who also had his prefecture stripped from him for the same crime, wrote a letter of apology to the teacher, and she read it out in assembly and gave him his badge back. The big wuss.
Why is everybody always picking on you, James? I'm going to say.
It's because I was watching The Exorcist.
The one I'm going to say about my Charlie Brown memory at school was we were very kindly taken to Alton Towers, or one of them parks, as a teenager. We went on some boat through a tunnel which showed you around the world. Everyone got out of the boat and started kicking the fuck out of plastic huskies and smashing up igloos and everything. It was wanton destruction. I wasn't one of those boys. I was just watching it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I did. And I'm not into smashing up all
Let's have a look
the
at
towers.
these shoes.
Just...
Hey! It's covered in plastic husky parts.
It was pretty good, actually, because afterwards I said, who smashed up the huskies? No one put their hand up, but of course there's loads of cameras, isn't there? even in the late 80s.
So there you have it. That's numbers 10 through 6 covered from this chart of the 24th of April, 1959.
10 to 6, what do you think we're going to do in part 2?
We're going to do numbers 5 to 1, featuring Elvis, Buddy Holly, Marty Wilde, and someone titting around on a piano. Here are some edited highlights from part 2.
Do you think you could write a song while taking a phone call? Or...
Well, then most of my songs will be about, no, I don't want to invest in your crypto scheme, you strange cold caller.
I have been swaggering around to this all week, doing the jive, doing the bop, having a great time.
He also wrote a song called Mr. Stalin, You're Eating Too High on the Hog, which is one of the greatest song titles I've ever heard.
The solo, I break out like measles, yeah? Well, they sound great, even though we haven't done them yet. I mean, if their records are as good as that, check them out on our Spotify and YouTube playlist. Like I say, have a little nudge to maybe YouTube, because there are some great videos this week. But of course, all the songs are great, and we heartily, as always, recommend you listening to those on Spotify.
Please, for the love of God, leave us a review wherever you get this podcast from.
Rate, subscribe, share, follow, and a review would be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be delightful if it was a good review. If it's going to be a bad review, keep it to yourself. And also, why are you still listening?
See you soon for those top 5 records of 1959. And in the meantime, Charlie Brown, don't Shooby Dooby do up.
Bop bop shoe up.